drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? I'm your host, Kendrick, and you know what you're watching. You're watching the TFG Sports Show, the best 30 minutes of sports talk on social media, where we give it to you straight with no chaser. Again, I'm your host, Kendrick, and just glad to be here. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday evening. Hope you're having a good start to your week. And we're going to get in here and we're going to chop it up, talk about a little bit of sports. That's the hot takes that's going on in the last week or so. Want to say hello to Miss Shantae Gibson. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping in. And I need for you guys to drop on in here. Make sure you come in, hit that like, hit that share button, the TFG Sports Media here on YouTube and on Facebook. And make sure you comment. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Share with your family. But make sure you talk to me. Let me know what's happening. We're going to talk about a couple of subjects that might get you have some various opinions on. But we're going to jump into that. But I got a guest tonight. Hey, Britannica Lynn. What's going on, big sis? My guy, my brother from my other brother, AB. I'm going to start calling him AB, not Antonio Brown. Antoine Banks. What's up, bro? Long time.
What's good, bro? Shit, how you been?
I'm good, brother. It's been a minute since we done chopped it up. How you been?
I can't complain. I just made it through. I just walked in through the doors right now as we speak.
Well, good. We're good. Well, I ain't gonna hold you long because I know you a busy man. You got things popping, but
I'm in for the night. I'm just gonna catch them games since I'm here early. I said I might as well be able to catch and see what's going on.
Okay, and good big sis, Britannica Lynn said hello. AB.
Hey, what's up, sis?
So we gonna talk about them playoffs, but we gotta start off with we're gonna jump right into that big fight that happened at AT&T Stadium this past Saturday night. The Dallas' own Earl Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas for the basically it was kind of sort of the unified welterweight title, but little caveat to that because Terrence Crawford owns the WBO, so it ain't actually unified, but it was somewhat unifying those titles. Earl Spence Jr. showed what he was made of. He took him out in the 10th round, TKO. Ugas ended up having a fractured right orbital in the 7th round, so he went 3 more rounds before the doctor stopped it and said he couldn't go no more. I want to get your take. Hey, AB, you my boxing guru. What was your take of this fight?
I was actually intrigued. I was shocked by the fight. I thought since Earl had been off for quite some time, even though he did have a comeback, but his first fight back from that wreck, man, he just, of course, he didn't look like himself. And then, of course, the cancellation of the him against Pacquiao. And with the eye damage, I thought that was going to be kind of like almost his downfall start of his career. But after watching the fight, I think it was to me, turned out to be kind of like a Buster Douglas beating Tyson. After Ugas beat Pacquiao. And then, I thought he was going to come in with the same type of game plan with, the jab. Of course, my man had a bad eye, but it seemed to turn to 180. And his eye ended up being the one that got messed up.
Right.
Like I said, Earl looked real strong. That's the best I've seen Earl looking about 4 years.
He I watched a little bit of, on YouTube, you can catch some of it, but Showtime, they gonna cut it off because so I only got to see bits and pieces of it. But I would say this, I outside of that 6th round where Spence, he lost his mouthpiece. He had some sort of brain fart or something. I don't know what he did.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, but he almost got took out.
He did because he laxed up, and I guess like you say with him, when he kind of paused for that second, and then he relaxed himself, and that punch that caught him, kinda, it hurt him, it stung him because we're like, well, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But he took that shot, and after he kind of locked back in, it was a no-brainer after that. I mean, he just walked the old boy down and, put them hands on him.
Yeah, it was a wrap after that. Again, like I say, I think Spence in this fight, he showed me that, man, he's back. Like you say, he came up after that car wreck, that first fight after that. I mean, he looked like some of himself. But I didn't think he was the Earl Spence Jr. we had seen previous.
Yeah, I thought
prior to that car.
I thought he was going to be a little bit rusty, but I think also this is his first time ever having a personal chef. as
Okay.
well in his camp. You know what I'm saying? So that could have been a deal to where, like I say, he looked real strong, and I think it'd be a heck of a fight, man, if they can make this happen between him and Crawford.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that real quick. I just want to say this though. This is Spence Jr.'s third fight at AT&T. So obviously that's his home. He feels comfortable fighting there. Earl Spence goes to 27-0 now, 21 knockouts. Now, Yordenis Ugas, you know, I gave him a valiant effort, but he just wasn't ready for Earl Spence Jr.
Like I say, yeah, I thought after he beat Pacquiao, like I say, he had showed me something against, even though Pacquiao was old or whatnot, but as he dominated Pacquiao the way he did, I mean, I thought Ugas, so I was like, well, he got a puncher's chance if he had a game plan. But I mean, to me, I think after Earl had put a couple of them, he felt his power. Yeah, he kind of broke him early after that, man. And them body shots and them uppercuts kind of, kept raining on him. So, I think he kind of checked out early.
Well, Spence Jr. got the TKO. He now holds the IBF, WBC, and WBA belt. And there's just one little belt left, that WBO belt that's held by Terrence Crawford. And Spence Jr. called Crawford out with his post-fight interview with Jim Gray in the ring. And this is what Spence Jr. said. He says, Terrence Crawford, everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford. Next, that's the fight I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps, talking about that other belt, and I'm going to go over there and take his ish too. That is what Spence Jr. said to Terrence Crawford. Crawford will respond on Twitter and say, hey, congratulations, Spence. You just keeping them belts warm for me. Let's make this happen.
Right.
Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence Jr. Bro, you think it's going to happen?
I think he's still going through a battle with Top Rank. If Top Rank is still involved with his promoter on Terrence Crawford, I kind of felt Terrence Crawford was getting a little bit too big for Top Rank, and he's looking to make make more money. And in order to make more money, he was gonna have to leave Top Rank. But I forgot the guy that's the promoter over there, because I know he's been saying that he's been stealing money from him.
Right.
I think it's Bob Arum.
Yeah, it's Arum. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's Arum. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I know Arum has been tough to deal with throughout the years. So if it's a Showtime / Top Rank event, I guess we're gonna have, since Earl holds all the belts, what I'm saying, he probably gonna get, more of the cut.
Right, exactly. And he can call the shots. I mean, at this point, he holds all three of the belts. So I hope they make this happen. If this happened, do you think it'll happen this year, or you think maybe the early part
I
of
was
next
already
year?
thinking that. I'm thinking, give Spence about 2 months to recover his body. Then he probably needs another 2 to 3 months to train. So if it does happen, I'm looking at
it'd be the fall. Yeah, the fall.
October / November.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking too. So that's what we're looking for. That's gonna be the big fight, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Earl Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, man, y'all got to make this happen. Now let's move on to our next topic. USFL, bro. Did you know the USFL kicked off this weekend?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't get a chance. I think I only saw clips. I didn't get the chance to see any of the actual game play itself.
You ain't missed much, bro. I'm just gonna go. but here's the thing. Just kind of talk about the USFL, kind of the difference between the NFL. Now you after scoring a touchdown, you can either go for 2, go for 3 points, or go for 1 point. 2-point attempt from the 2-yard line, 3-point attempt from the 10-yard line, and a 1-point kick, from the 15-yard line. Now 2 players wear helmets. They got a helmet cam. You got 2 players on each team that wears that. You got 2 sky cams. You got a multiple drone cams. You got 16 players mic'd up during the game. There's a 35-second play clock, which speeds the game up. And the kickoffs are from the 25-yard line, so obviously you get more kickoff returns. And the one difference is the 15-yard penalty for pass interference is like college. It's only a 15-yard penalty. It's not a spot foul. Yeah, okay. So I watched a little bit of the Houston Gamblers, Michigan Panthers, and ex-Cowboys coach, your boy Garrett, Jason Garrett is announcer or play-by-play in USFL. Is he? Yeah, he and Jack Collinsworth, who's Chris Collinsworth's son, were in the booth for that game. And I'll be honest with you, it was all right. I mean, they had all the little bells and whistles. And it wasn't bad, but I just think the thing is going to hurt them. Not a lot of name recognition. That's the only thing. As far as the quality of it, the quality was okay. I mean, these guys only had 3 weeks to have training camp to get ready as well. So I thought it was okay. I mean, they had 3.5 million viewers tuned in this weekend, which is a lot, because it was on both Fox and NBC as well. So it was all right. It wasn't bad football, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I know it's hey, if you're a sports fan, I mean, we're gonna take what we can get, until it come back around. So, right now between it'll keep us going, NBA playoffs is here. And like I said, I don't know how long the USFL season lasts, but I'm pretty sure by time
it's 10 weeks. It's 10 weeks. It's a 10-week season, and it's only 8 teams, and they all play in Birmingham. They only playing in one central location this year, so they all playing in Birmingham. And the championship game will be played in Canton, Ohio, next to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in July.
Okay, so by the time they end up, it'll be almost time for the NFL to roll through.
Right, and you got named coaches. I mean, the Houston Gamblers coach is Kevin Sumlin. Michigan Panthers coach is Jeff Fisher. So you got some names that you're familiar with from the NFL. Some of the, like I say, some of the players, a lot of them have been in NFL camps and have played in the CFL, but they just hadn't stuck. Matter of fact, the backup quarterback for the Panthers was Paxton Lynch, who, if you guys recall, Cowboys Jerry Jones wanted to draft him. I want to believe that was 16. But they decided to pass on Lynch, and he was eventually drafted by the Denver Broncos.
Right.
So he was a backup quarterback for the Panthers. So again, it was okay. The bells and whistles. The only annoying thing is they got all those players mic'd up. So when you're trying to listen to the play-by-play, but they got all this audio bleeding into one another, so it can be confusing to what you're hearing. But you hearing everything. You're hearing the hits. I mean, again, they got all the bells and whistles. But eventually, I think the quality of play is probably going to have to step it up. But again, I didn't think it was a bad product for the first weekend.
Okay. I still think, it might still be a segue for some of those guys to show off their talents prior to training camp for the NFL. So,
and they had to sign 2-year contracts, and they make $4,500 a week. There's a 45-player roster. But they did have to sign 2-year contracts. So, and so that's where the USFL is going. Now let's talk about the other league that's coming next year, the XFL. The XFL is coming back, guys. I don't know if y'all remember. They've hired 8 coaches for the league playing 2023. This league was in bankruptcy, and it was bought by The Rock Johnson. Dwayne Johnson is one of the owners of the league, as well as 2 other investors. And they named 8 head coaches for the inaugural season that's coming up next. I think they're going to start in the winter, kind of like the USFL. Some of the head coaches, the 8 head coaches for this league: Wade Phillips, Jim Haslett, Bob Stoops, Terrell Buckley, who's a former Packer, Hines Ward, who is a former Steeler, Rod Woodson, who's a former Steeler, and Raven, Reggie Barlow, I remember his name, he was a wide receiver, and Anthony Beck, former tight end. Those are going to be the 8 head coaches. The teams haven't been named yet, don't know what cities they're going to be. But the XFL is coming back, and they want to compete head on with the USFL, what I was reading, and they think that they can do it. They think they got a better deal for players. They're going to have more players on their roster, and they're going to play a little bit more than the USFL. You remember the XFL, don't you, bro?
Yeah. I remember all of them. Yeah.
They had them nicknames, He Hate Me and all that stuff on there. But I think that they got away from that when they came back in their inaugural season, even though they had to cut it short because of the pandemic. They were playing football. Again, they had all of the whistles, the gimmicks. But the XFL and NFL are kind of in a partnership to do some of the rules, to see, okay, y'all going to do some different rules. The NFL is going to look and see if some of those rules that's going on in the XFL would be something that they would adapt and pass along to the NFL.
Okay.
So again, we're gonna have football all year round. I think a lot of people don't like it. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's good to have something on. You know what I mean?
I mean, being a sports fan, it'll keep me, because we get to these dry months here in Texas, man. That I'm not a baseball fan, so I need something to keep me, keep me afloat till August, September.
Right.
Yeah, so if they can do that, then I'm all for it.
So again, like I said, the XFL is going to be starting up next winter time. And then just a side note, I don't know if you know, our boy T.O. is playing in that fan-controlled football league, which airs on Twitch.
I saw that.
Yeah, so he caught his first touchdown in the Fan Control Football League Saturday night. So that's been all over the place. So T.O. at 48 years old, still catching touchdowns. Not in the NFL, but in the Fan Control Football League. So I think that's dope. So,
and what channel is that again?
I think you can watch it on Twitch. I think it's not and maybe the Peacock Network with a streaming service as well.
Okay.
And they all play the games out of Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So there we go. XFL, waiting for you. See what you got. Let's move on. Let me put on my headband real quick. Put on my head. Put on my head.
It's upside down, bro.
Is it upside down? Let me put on. Yeah, it's upside down. We get ready to talk about the NBA. NBA playoffs. Let me put on my headband. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Do y'all remember who used to do this?
That's them Clipper boys.
Yes, sir. Darius Miles and Quinn Richardson.
Quinn Richardson from Chicago.
The knuckleheads is what they call themselves.
Yeah, they got a podcast.
Yes, they do. So I got my headband on, and we talking about this NBA playoffs, man. Right now, we got the Heat in Atlanta. They already tipped off on TNT. We got the Pelicans and Suns following them, and then on NBA TV tonight, we got the Grizzlies at the Timberwolves. Bro, tell me what you think about the first round thus far.
Let me see. Where do I start? Which as a whole?
Yeah, as a whole. Just your overall, what you think?
I mean, I guess I can watch it a little bit more now. It's a little bit more tolerable because you got, you know what I'm saying, you got better quality of play. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to watch some of that bad basketball that's played on the West Coast and that purple and gold.
And we ain't talking about this because they are non-factor this season. Ain't no reason for us to talk about them no more. But go ahead, bro.
So with that, I mean, starting out, you know how it is. I mean, if the home team drop a game, then everybody say, "Oh, now you're on the ropes." You know what I'm saying? So technically, the playoffs don't start as we all know until somebody wins on somebody else's floor. And after about at least the first 4 games, then we're gonna see what we got. Yeah. I want to see Memphis. I think Minnesota. That young talent is meshing good with Minnesota, so I think Memphis is is in for a dogfight.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards, man. I was like, man, that young fella is nice.
Yeah, so he can go, and of course, the biggest series everybody the spotlight is on, of course, is Boston and Brooklyn. Outside of that, I mean, I kind of feel like, the Bucks is probably going to repeat, in my opinion. I guess just feel like they've been together the longest, and they also done been through all the trials and tribulations. So I look to see a repeat of the same finals from last year.
Okay, Bucks and Suns. Okay,
and I think the Suns it'll probably be, and I think they probably go 7, and I think a little edge towards Milwaukee, but I wouldn't be shocked if Phoenix pull it off.
And you brought up the series that everybody's watching, which I thought that was probably that game and the Chicago-Milwaukee game were probably the 2 best games over the weekend. The Brooklyn and Boston, and our boy Kyrie Irving got fined $50,000 for. Guess what he was doing? He was saluting them fans. He was telling them fans, "I'm number one," but not with the number one finger. He was going at it, and they fined him $50,000 today.
Okay,
but he put in work. Kyrie put in 39, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. I think overall, I think that particular series, I just think Boston. I think they had a better bench. I do. I think they played better defense. I think it's in my opinion.
But I mean, Nash gonna have to go down and let some of them veteran boys get out there and play.
Right.
You can't go with that short bench, and they gotta go, but you're gonna have to put in Blake Griffin and Aldridge and let them boys. You're gonna have to have something down low to make Boston not just worry about that perimeter game and take some of their bigs out, because Boston is pretty small themselves. But I feel like if you go a little bit bigger with Aldridge and Blake Griffin, man, and let them boys get down there and work, we got to change the narrative of, how the game is being played. So with that, of course, we know Nash don't know how to coach, but hey, I mean, I feel like that's something you got to do, man. You can't have them cats, you say you got the experience and waiting on the playoffs, but you don't get them no run, so it don't do them no good.
Yeah, and then let's talk about the hometown team, the Dallas Mavericks last night. My man, Jalen Brunson put in work. He put in 41 points last night. They tied that series up with Utah 1-1 without not having their guy Luka Doncic. Where do you see that series going? I think
feel like they're gonna have to put some respect on Jason Kidd. You know,
true that, true.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody called him out. Like, of course, here in the DFW area, you listen to sports radio. They feel like they had no shot with Luka Doncic. Where I feel like if you've been watching the Mavericks have played without Luka, and like I say, Jason Kidd, he got a rotation, man. With them boys, they play tough. Now I didn't know Hardaway Jr. was out as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I saw that. I didn't know he was out too.
Yeah,
right.
So with that, I mean, for them to say that Utah finna go grab them next two at home, I don't think that. I think Dallas gonna go up there and split, and I can see this series even going 7, even without Luka, man, because I think Jason Kidd is that good of a coach, man. He got that unit playing good basketball.
And let's talk about Golden State last night in Denver, man. Chef Curry came off the bench and put 34 on them boys. But I'm gonna tell you who to do for that Golden State team. That young fella, Jordan Poole. I think, man, he might, man. Klay Thompson might need to watch out, man, because Jordan Poole.
So you think it's gonna be Klay?
I
said it was because my man, they don't delegated him to the business since Klay done came back. The boy that they traded from Minnesota.
Oh, Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah. So now that Poole has been putting in work, and like I say, Steph making all the money, but even though they just did re-up with Klay Thompson, but like you say, man, I mean, you can see that Poole guy, I guess that 3-guard rotation, man, that he came out of nowhere.
Right. So I Golden State look like they trying to round in the form, but I still think, you talking about the West, man. I still think Phoenix got everything clicking. They got everything clicking right now. The only one that can match up
with Golden State because they got that young, they got them young legs.
Yeah, I think they got it clicking. So here's where we start with the series now. In the East, Miami, I think they might sweep Atlanta. But Miami's up 1-0 in that series. Milwaukee's up 1-0 against Chicago. Philly is up 2-0 against Toronto. I think that series is a wrap. In the Western
Toronto
Conference,
get one.
They'll get one. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, but I think that'll be it. Phoenix is up 1-0 on the Pelicans. That series is a wrap as well. Grizzlies up 1-0 on the Timberwolves. Golden State is up 2-0 on the Nuggets, which I was kind of shocked. But the Nuggets, outside of Jokic, they hadn't had Murray and they haven't had Michael Porter Jr. all season. So I think that's finally catching up to them not having those two.
Those right now it does. Against you don't have enough talent, enough speed out there to go up against Golden State.
Right. And the Mavericks and the Jazz, they tied 1-1. So that series, like you say, I think that one may go 7. And I think Dallas will go up there and get one. They're going to get one. I don't know if they can get 2 up there, but they definitely will. They will definitely get 1. So the NBA playoffs, again, this is our time of year. We had some good games this past weekend. And hopefully tonight we're going to have some more. See what these Hawks and Heat going to do, who are playing right now on TNT. Then the Pelicans and Suns, 5 of them on TNT. And then the Grizzlies and Timberwolves tip off at 7:30 on NBA TV. So there you have it. So now we're down to my favorite part. Should I take this? Kendrick, you know what? Let me take this off. I got to scratch my head. This is the part of the show where I find stuff on the internet that makes me shake my head, makes me scratch my head and say, what in the world are they doing? And this week's Kendrick's Conundrum is none other than cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys, Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph was a person of interest in a murder that happened a couple of weeks ago in Dallas at a nightclub. He and his boys from Louisiana was in the spot. They got into a altercation in the club, ended up getting into an altercation outside the club. The young men that they got into altercation with walked to their car. The vehicle that he was riding in, who somebody shot out the window, shot at the young men, and they killed a 20-year-old young man from Athens, Texas.
Wow.
This is my thing. This is why it's a conundrum for me. I don't understand why these young brothers don't understand when you got in the spotlight. Some of them cats that roll with you can't ride with them no more, because guess what? You get into something crazy, it ain't gonna be their name in the news. It's gonna be yours.
Yeah.
It's gonna be yours. You're gonna take the heat. I just don't understand why our young black men don't get it. When you got that type, when you're in a position to really do well, I ain't telling you not to remember your boys from the hood, but it's just certain things you can't do with them no more. You can't do that.
And your boys should understand that.
Bam. If they your boys, they're gonna say, nah, bro, we not getting ready to do this. Nah, we ain't gonna do this. The thing for him is he went and he went to talk to DPD, and they did. I'm assuming he told who shot, because the day later, two of his boys that was in the vehicle were arrested.
So he gonna catch heat back at the house there. Yeah.
But see, that's the other code of the snitching. To snitch or not to snitch. And my thing is this, man. You should never put your position in that position where you have to snitch.
Yeah.
If you feel like that. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and say that I'm gonna go take a case for nobody. I unless it's my family. I ain't taking a case for nobody, especially if I know I ain't did it.
Right.
And they pinpoint me. That's just me. Well, to each his own, but I ain't no street. I don't live on the street, so that I ain't live like that. I get the street code, but my thing is, you're Cowboys. I mean, you're a professional football player. First of all, I know you're 24 years old. I get it. You want to go out and hang out. I get that, but man, you got to think. You got to think for yourself. You got to make better decisions.
Yeah.
So Kelvin Joseph, as of right now, he's still a Dallas Cowboy. He's probably going to
be long.
Yeah, he's probably going to be suspended because the league is probably going to suspend him. This is only his second year. He possibly could be a starter this season. And now you had this happen. And unfortunately, a young man is no longer here because of stupid decisions that sometimes our young brothers make. So that's my conundrum. My thing is, you young brothers, man, y'all get in this position of fame and startups, make better decisions. Be careful who you roll with. Sometimes you don't need to be rolling with your crew. So that's my conundrum for this week. All right, bro. What's on your mind? This is our final thoughts. I'll let you talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Like I said, it was a good week of past weekend of sports. I mean, with all the stuff that was going on, like I say, you had, football came out, you had boxing, and the first round of playoffs. So it was a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? If you're a sports fan, sit back, relax, and catch up on it. Going forward, like I say, I'm, intrigued to see how the rest of it play out, seeing what this next game two gonna do with Boston and Brooklyn. The fans, like they say, of course, they're probably gonna come out even stronger against Kyrie. But I think Kyrie is built from that mold of that number 8. For that purple and gold, you know what I'm saying?
That Mamba mentality.
Yeah, so with that, you know what I'm saying, he liked to play that villain role, and I'm thinking, I don't think y'all really want to, you know what I'm saying, for him to zone in, because when he starts zoning in, that boy, he tough, If he can just get a little bit better help from KD, and like I say, man, they play some of their veterans, man, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody say Boston got the younger legs, but I feel like, it's gonna go 7, but that's the main thing I'm wanting to see, you know what I'm saying, from here on down the playoffs.
Yeah, I gotta put you on the spot real quick, AB. Terrence Crawford, my man Earl Spence Jr. Who you got?
After that's a tough one.
Okay.
I mean, after seeing the exhibition that not Crawford, but Earl Spence put back on, man, that put me back on his team.
Okay.
Now, then again, you can't sleep on Bud as well. I mean,
Bud, right. He's nice. He's a technician.
Bud puts in work, as well.
Right.
That's too close for me to even say, man. That's a split. I mean, that's a pick 'em.
Right. We're gonna delve more. We're gonna delve more into that later. And also, before we go, I want to tell you guys, I'm gonna post a story on TFG Sports Media. Speaking of USFL, a guy got cut by his coach because of chicken salad. He got cut from the team because of chicken salad. You have to watch the story to get what I'm talking about. I'm gonna post chicken that on salad. Yeah, he didn't like chicken salad. You gotta watch the story. I'm gonna put it together and I'm gonna post it to TFG Sports Media sometime this evening. So just watch the story. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Anyway, my bro AB, thanks for joining me tonight. I am your host, Kendrick. You know what it is, TFG Sports Media. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel on Facebook and YouTube. You know where to find us here every Tuesday night at 6:30. That's my guy, AB. I'm your host, Kendrick. We're done. That's a wrap. Until next Tuesday at 6:30, we out. Peace.
Already.